Hey guys, can you hear me? Hmm. Can everyone, there we go. I had my mic muted by accident. Let me know if you can hear me now. I should be good to go. Perfect, perfect. Might sound a little different. I'm on my laptop. Sorry about that. Um, so quick update before we get started. Um, Happy Monday, first of all. Going to be live every single day except for tomorrow morning. Family friend passed away, so I have to attend a funeral. That's tomorrow morning. So I'll be live every single time that I usually am, except for tomorrow morning, just so so everyone has an update. Okay. So let's get started. If anyone has any questions, please let me know. Take a look at SPY. SPY down 0.10% here at pre-market. You sound way up. You scared? I scared you. That's so funny. Sorry about that. Um, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for the condolences. Let's get started. So SPY, right? We have this previous resistance from last week, and then we acted as a support, and we saw a nice move up, and we're starting to create this flag, right? So let me zoom out a little bit on a higher time frame, or zoom in, I should say. Right, we're creating this resistance, and we have this support with multiple touches. We're starting to bounce off of this previous resistance. Right, this previous resistance from, let me move this thing over here, from Thursday, right, we acted as a resistance and then it acted as support, and it started to act as a support here, right, on Friday. So if this area can hold, this box that I have drawn around 448.3 to 448.5 or so, if this can hold and we can see a breakthrough of 449.5, I have this drawn out because, right, this previous support acted as support and it acted as resistance again, right? So if this can break through, I'm going to go ahead and set an alert on that level. I think we could see a breakout to the high here of 451. So that's what I'm watching here on SPY. If anyone has any questions on that, let me know. If we do have a breakdown, be careful of this 447.5 level, right? Previous resistance acted as support, and then we have a gap to fill to the downside. All right, this is what it looks like on a little bit of a higher time frame. We have this gap here, and then we also have this gap here. Okay. Another thing, instead of, I switched this, I created my own EM cloud. All right, we can get rid of that one. All right, let me know if you like the look. Here are the colors. Looks kind of clean. I don't actually use the EMAs. I just have it on my chart. It just helps identify trend. Right? It's, you want to trade with the trend always. So I just have it for trading with the trend. So let's continue. Apple up 0.5% here pre-market. This might be a great play today. All right, we have these higher lows, lower highs, and we're actually above my entry point, right? My entry point was 191.1. The next entry point we have is 191.7, which is this previous resistance. If that can break, we have a resistance at 192.67, but this can definitely be a nice play. Where's the lower level of SPY drops down? Good question, right? So the gaps, right? So the first resistance is going to be at 447.5, then 446.7, and then we have this gap here at 444.9. And then we have this pretty big resistance here, right? Previous support acted as resistance. So it could be a pretty big move to the downside, but SPY's been pretty strong overall, so we'll see what happens here. But back to Apple, right? Apple chart looks great. Like this is a prime setup that I'll be keeping an eye on. Okay. If anyone has any questions on this setup, let me know. Next setup I'm keeping an eye on is Square, right? We bounced once, twice, 3 times, and now 4 times, and we're flagging into this support, right? So if we go into a little bit of a smaller time frame, zoom in a bit, right? We kind of have this falling wedge, right? Here's the pole, here's the flag, and it's starting to, right, create this flag, and we have this previous resistance starting to act as a support, right? Previous resistance acting as support, right? So if we could start to break out through this white trend line that I have drawn out here, we could definitely see a move up to 77.1 or so. Okay. So setup looks great here on a smaller time frame. Microsoft is the next setup I'm keeping an eye on. Right, really like this setup. I like how we have this previous resistance acted as resistance again, right? And we're kind of creating this flag. It's a very tight flag, very small tight flag, but we're starting to, right, create this bottom here, right above that resistance, right? So old resistance becomes new support. I think if we can break through this previous support, which acted as a support here, right, it's going to act potentially as a new resistance. So if this can break through, I think we see a nice move up to 351, which would be a 6-point move. And on options, that would be a nice move. That would be a very nice move. So this is another one of my my watches this morning. Okay. Another name I'm watching, Tesla. Right, Tesla, we have this previous resistance acted as resistance, and we're opening above. We're up 2% here in pre-market, right? We're at 287 in pre-market. We've been creating these higher and higher lows since the 27th of June. So, right, almost a month now, we've just been creating higher and higher lows. If I go to a higher time frame, let's take a look at the daily for a second. Right, we're opening above this double top we created, and we have this one resistance here at 289, but once we break 289, we should see a move to 313, which is a huge move. Right, we also have ER on Wednesday. Yep, so thank you very much, whoever just said that. We have ER on Wednesday, so just be mindful of that. But again, great setup here. Can definitely see a nice continuation move today and tomorrow. Okay, let's see what else we got. Netflix, don't really like the setup here. AMD I was potentially looking at, right? We're pretty much even here in pre-market, but we had this previous resistance. We saw that huge breakout last week. Right, a huge breakout last week. And we pulled back and we retested that exact breakout point. And we're kind of just hovering here. Right? So it could potentially be a good spot to enter for a retest. But that's really about it. You know, that's really about it. So I'll keep an eye on it, but it's not really, you know, one of my main watches right now. Let's see what else we got. Rivian, we traded this last week. Right, we traded the breakdown here, saw a nice, I think it was what, like 70% move to the downside on the options. We're down almost 4% here in pre-market. We do have this double bottom here, right? Previous support, and we're sitting right here, right? I have this green box drawn out. I'm gonna delete that to make it a little bit clearer. If this breaks through, we do have a gap to fill to the downside. So this could definitely be a potential watch today. Move it up a little bit on my watch list. Victor asks, with VIX up 4%, SPY looking weak. Do these setups look... Yep, I'm just playing the chart, right? So as long as the chart looks fine, you know, it's all good. Right, SPY looks totally fine. Right, overall uptrend, every dip has been bought. You know, we'll just continue to play the chart. The VIX is up 3.9%. It's totally fine. Take a look at VIX quickly. let's take a look at VIX, right? So we have kind of like this previous resistance kind of breaking through that now after seeing a double bottom here. You know, it's tough to chart VIX sometimes, but right now is a pretty solid chart. Definitely need to be mindful if it does push through this high that it created this morning of 14, right? If 14 breaks, SPY to the downside might be an occurrence. Okay. So let's continue with some setups. Delete all these lines here. So Google saw a great move last week, right? We had very clear trend break, right? Resistance, 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 broke through, and it just saw an absolute massive move through every resistance. Right, we have this previous level that we rejected from June 15th or June 16th. So if this can break, I think we could potentially see the next leg up. But again, I like to wait for coil. I like to wait for a flag. Another thing I do like that I'm just seeing now is how this previous resistance is acting as a support, and it's kind of creating this rounded bottom here. Right? Always look for how a previous resistance can act as a support, and you could always use these levels as either calls or puts, whether it's testing the top or bottom of it. Where do you search your layout on TradingView? If you're talking about like the color scheme that I have and all that, I have a YouTube video on YouTube, and you can copy my exact chart. I go in depth on how you can copy my chart. Okay. So Google looks pretty decent. We can keep an eye on that. Amazon, nothing. Excuse me, nothing really there. Nvidia, nothing there as well. Coin, nothing there as well. BABA down 1.7% here, pre-market, breaking this previous resistance. Excuse me. Oh. I need my coffee. Haven't made it yet. Can I share the EM cloud? Sure, I'm just working on putting it in my name. Right now, someone made it for me. It's called EM cloud. Can get rid of that. EM cloud Viper Algo by Viper Algo. I'm pretty sure you just have to type in like EM cloud, yep, and then it'll come up like that. And that's my watch list for this morning. Right? Apple, top watch. Square, top watch. Microsoft, top watch. Tesla, top watch. All right, so we got a bunch of good setups this morning. Could definitely even play Rivian. Okay. NVIDIA, another price target upgrade. Yeah, NVIDIA, AMD has just been receiving so many upgrades. With AI and everything, it's just been on an absolute tear. Any reason I priced it $50 more than the 100? Because I'm spending all my time on live, and my time is valuable. That's why. I don't have to be doing live. No one does live. But I'm doing it. It's pretty much a classroom every day, right? It's like school, my live sessions. You swung calls on Baba. So Baba's tough here, right? We saw a nice breakout retest here. Then we saw a run up, and this was the main resistance that we needed to hold, right? Previous resistance started to act as a support, right? We saw higher and higher lows, but now we're opening down 1.7%. Looks pretty weak. I wouldn't really touch anything here until we retested this white trend line. So I would probably cut positions at open, and you can always get a better entry. Yeah, everyone has to, everything has a cost, right? There's a cost to everything, but you can't look at it as a burden, right? You have to look at it, right? Are you spending $150, and are you learning enough to cover that cost? 100%, right? Or are you making enough to cover that cost? Absolutely, right? If you spend $150 and you make 500, is it worth it? Absolutely, right? As a business owner, let's say if someone was to spend $1,000 on ads to make 5,000, is that worth it? Some people might say, "Oh, it's $1,000. It's expensive." It's not expensive if you make 5,000, right? If that's the return, right? If education is priceless, so that's how people have to look at things. Anyone that's not willing to spend to make more is just a negative Nancy, and they don't like to take risks. Apple, let's keep an eye on Apple here. So Apple's looking pretty strong, up 0.5% now. And we have this previous resistance, 191.7. So definitely going to keep an eye on this here this morning. If everyone can drop a like in the video, I'd appreciate it. But cover the entire watch list. So with that being said, I'm going to start the Zoom session a little bit earlier. So for anyone that's here, not VIP, I trade live on Zoom every single day. I will see you guys tomorrow. For VIP members, I will